Hi everyone, I'm JD, welcome back to my channel. So it's time for part 3 of this Make a Junk Journal with Me series, where we are making the same journal that I made for myself. This is the one that I filled. It's a wallpaper envelope journal. So we've already done the cover and we have already done the pages, so I'll link those videos below. And now we're up to arranging these and binding them. So I've got my template here that I'll be using, referring back to, and I'll just talk about how I arrange things and that kind of thing. Because I've gotten some questions about how do I arrange pages. And then, yeah, these are the tools you need for binding. So we need our awl, scissors, and some sort of paper clip or bulldog clip, or I use bobby pins, the long ones, and then some sort of thread. I use embroidery thread, and I use a tapestry needle because it has a large eye and is blunt. Okay, so just mind my cat, he is singing in the background. So here are my pages, and I know I start off with this one, the reason being because it's got I got this wallpaper from an antique place, so I want to put this vintage piano paper that I also got from the same place there, excuse me, to kind of match that and be like a standout piece to be our front piece. I always like to choose a decorative page for the front most of the time, not always actually, most of the time. Then I'm choosing a blue page because blue is my favorite color. And I've got lots of blank pages, different shades of blue, and I'm just going to use that here to highlight my favorite color and the theme of this journal. It's a very blue themed journal. So then I kind of break up as much as possible. Again, just mind my cat, he's playing, he's having the zoomies. I break up blank pages with something that has a pattern. So a blank page, then a lined page. So I've got this ledger paper here that I thrifted from an op shop, and because this journal is quite large, long, tall, I'm going to place it, I could place it in the middle, but I want to place it at the top just to give a bit of variety. The other ones I'll place in the middle or down the bottom, so that every time you turn the page you get something different in terms of placement. Okay, next I want to do a contrast page again. So even though they've got lines on them, one is blue, one is white, and the other thing is one is horizontal and one is vertical. So my cat is going crazy right now. Oh my goodness, Cristiano. So yeah, that gives it contrast. And the idea that I'm doing with my pages is I like every time you turn a page to have a different look, whether that be the page itself with the pattern, color or design, or with the orientation of it, or with the size of the paper. So this is wide and shorter, this is longer and narrower. And then I have, okay, I've got one of these pages here. So where is it? So now what I'm going to do is put this at the bottom. So now you got these layers, so you can see 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers. And again, that just gives the different look. So now I've got some notation paper, and depending on the paper, you're not always going to be able to make a contrast every single time, and that's totally okay. I'm pretty methodical and structured in the way that I do my journals, and you know, how I'm talking it through. But honestly, you can just do totally random and not think about it this much, and just, you know, have fun doing whatever you want. So I'm going to put this one in the middle, I think. And then, so that just gives us a blank page. Again, so we've got a white, and now I want a blue. In fact, I'm going to put this down the bottom to give us more layers. I know I've got 2 in a row down the bottom, but like I say, it's fun to disrupt the pattern sometimes. Not that there is much of a pattern, it's just in my own head I've got a configuration. And then I want to put this one here, the full-size music paper, so that's just going to go straight in the middle since it's the full size. Then I have I want to use some smaller note papers and things, so what I'm going to do is put this one here, and that could just go in the middle, or you could just put it anywhere you want, so not too fussed about that one because it's nice and small. Then I'm going to put one of my blue papers again, just a blank, because we haven't had one of those for a while, and it really shows up this cream page, especially because this page is very busy. It's nice having something blank over here to let that breathe. And it's nice pairing the vintage with something bright and colourful for the contrast and variety. And then I'm putting this one here again. We've got a blank, and so I'm putting a white page to contrast with the blue and some lined paper with the bird. It's very cool. Then I'm going to put a vellum or tracing paper page here. And I usually like to put something decorative after the vellum paper because you can see through it. So like that. And I love that layered look. And I'm just going to pop that right in the middle. And then let's go for, we've got a lot of white papers going on, so I'm going to choose a blue lined paper. I might put that one just directly in the middle as well. And then I've got my manuscript paper, this one, also from an op shop. And do I want that in the middle too? I'm having a string of pages in the middle to disrupt the pattern back there where it was at the top, at the bottom. So just doing a bit of variety here. And then I've got my plain white paper, so I've got a lot of patterns going on that you can see. So let's break that up with just a blank page. And see, there's white on white. Again, it disrupts that pattern where I was going blue, white, blue, white. So it's nice just to change things up every now and then and give every page a different look every time you turn a page. Then I've got, again, it's a white on white, but we've got the blue and the red lines, which breaks that up. Now I've got a lined page, so I'm going to use a graph paper or grid paper for a different look again. So we've got now a blank, a lined, and a graph. And then I've got my Stamp Collector's transparent paper. And what I'm going to do is put this one here, kind of near the bottom. And it just adds an extra layer. And then at the back, what I'm doing is putting this really interesting page. I haven't seen another page like that in my thrifting. All of this I thrifted, by the way, all of it. This, from various different op shops. So I quite like that, just that layered look there. There's a lot going on here, so it's nice to have a bit of a blank side there to breathe. Okay, and what's next? Okay, so then I've got my little William Shakespeare poem or sonnet, and I like the cream page, and then it's just going to stay there. And what I've got is this bird. So since the bird is in this corner, I'm going to move this down so that it highlights both. And I like putting this here because it's like you can write your own sonnet on these lines. Alright, and then we have next a black paper. So what I'm going to do is also put that down near the bottom so that the bird can be seen. So just about there. And then I've got this one to give a nice contrast, and I love this contrast. We've got different colours represented in layers. And then to finish, I'm just going to put this one here, and it's just a nice layered look in the middle. Again, this is the style of junk journal that I prefer. I originally made it for me and had enough supplies to make a set of others, and thought it would be a great one to do for this series, so this Make a Junk Journal With Me series. So now I'm not too fussed, really. You know, I laid it out, but I'm not too fussed if things aren't completely perfect or anything, because it's a junk journal and I do like the random look too. So I give it my planned, structured pass through, and then however it turns out, I hope that it adds a bit of randomness to it, a bit of a look that doesn't make it look so planned out. And so what I'm going to do our binding is we're just going to make sure that's all tightly folded there, and we're going to add it to the cover because the cover itself is like a page. This is why it's so super simple. We're going to progress later on and finally progress to a multi-signature journal, but the first 3 Make a Junk Journal with Me series, they've all been single signature journals, and I hope that it's getting you used to binding, and then we can do something more advanced in the next series. Alright, so I'm just using my paper clips to hold everything in place. I've already threaded my needle, and I chose white just because it's a white wallpaper on the front, and I didn't want to take anything away from the wallpaper, so I wanted the thread to blend in. Now all I don't measure, I eyeball the center of the journal, and it doesn't really matter too much, and I'm just going to, hang on, put that through the middle. I'm just making sure I got the right front and back. Yep, I'm happy with that. Alright, and then I put the needle through to hold everything in place. Then I'm going to choose just a spot at the bottom, again a random spot at the bottom. I'm going to poke the needle through that one. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this tight, pull this thread down tight, so that when you pass it back through the middle hole, you miss the threads. It's a nightmare if you get the threads in there. Alright, and now I'm just going to do a hole at the top somewhere, about there maybe. Poke it through there and thread the needle back through. And then you want to pass it under that thread there. Yes, Keanu, hi. And then you just want to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until it's centered. And I'm just going to test to make sure it's taut. Don't want it too tight that it's going to cut through your pages. Oh, hi, Keanu. Hello, can you move for me, please? Hang on, guys. Come on, sweetie, I know you want to say hello. Okay, where were we? Alright, I'm just going to cut this off to make it easier so that's not in the way right now. Alright, where were we? So yeah, you don't want it too tight that it's going to cut through the pages, but you don't want it loose. Well, some people do like it loose. I like it quite tight. As tight as it can go without ripping pages. And then you want to just, yeah, wiggle, 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 and then pull it tight, and then I do a double knot. I even sometimes do a triple knot. And why not? Let's just do a triple knot so you can see that, what it looks like. And then I'm just going to cut it here and remove your paper clips. And that easy, so quick. There is the finished journal. So that's pretty exciting. So I'll save the proper flip through for the next video. But we have made a journal from start to finish. And it really is that easy, that easy for you guys, hopefully. And I hope that you had fun following along, making a journal with me. Let me know if you did. And share a photo of your journal that you made on the Willow Bound Journals Facebook group page if you'd like. I would love to see what you made. And so this is what it looks like before it's been filled, and this is what it looks like after it's been filled. I love the wallpaper cover, how it can stretch and mould to the pages. Alright guys, hope that was helpful, and I will be back with the next video tomorrow doing a proper flip through. Bye guys!